Hello Wanderers, welcome back to our Crusader Kings 3 roleplay series following Clan Stjarna, and as you will no doubt remember in the last episode, the Empire had descended into civil war. Now, what does civil war in the Empire mean to Jarl Refir? Well, it means opportunity, as you will no doubt know. The recently ascended to the throne Basileus Adrianos II, a powerful strategist and martial commander, is fighting against a pretty powerful rebellion. Now, as you can see, the majority of the empire remains loyal, but those he is going up against, the Greeks, some of the Anatolians, Georgians, and some Serbian lords as well, they are providing more than a match, I would say. As you can see, they are being led by Duchess Viviana, who was formerly the Marshal of the Kingdom, a very old and experienced woman who defied the structures of her gender here and became one of the most powerful war leaders in the Byzantine Empire. Brilliant strategist, look at these traits: strategist, overseer, military engineer, unyielding defender, aggressive attacker. She is irritable, she's a fornicator, interestingly enough, rakish, murderer, and a pilgrim. This woman must have had an interesting life to get to her position. I mean, she comes from simply like a line of counts and dukes, and yet now she's leading a rebellion against the empire and has obviously led a very interesting life indeed. And she's giving the emperor, the newly ascended emperor, more than a match. As you can see, they've mustered up more troops than the empire can. The emperor Basileus here, who is still new and hasn't essentially gotten the loyalty of all the nobles yet, is definitely in a tough position. This is a liberty war, so if they enforce their demands, the crown authority will be lowered. All these members are going to get favors, and they're all going to get weak hooks on him. So if he loses this war, he will be beholden to the nobles led by Duchess Viviana here. So that's interesting. That puts us in an interesting position. We didn't join in this Liberty War. I think we were waiting and biding our time to see what would happen. But all these nobles are going to have weak hooks on the Emperor, all the ones who are rebelling against him, if they win, which includes the Count of Barreau, or Barreau. We'll call it Barreau for now. And that's unfortunate because we do have a Casus Belli on him, which I would like to potentially use, but if he has a hook on the Emperor, I don't think we would feel safe essentially invading his lands to take over this. So that's unfortunate, but we will have to keep an eye out. That does bring to mind, are there any factions we might wish to join? Well, obviously not the Peasant Rabble faction. That's against us, so no worries here. I think we can deal with the peasants, but there are a few here as well. The Liberty faction's already fighting. We could create a faction, dissolve the Empire. No, I don't think we'll do that. Nor do we want to go independent. And could we support a different claimant? Put somebody of our own making on the throne? Maybe potentially get a hook on them. It's an interesting idea, but not something I think we're going to do yet. I think what we mostly want to do is simply build up some money, essentially slowly expand if there are opportunities, but other than that, we're just going to work on schemes and swaying people to our side, potentially through schemes, getting hooks on people and things of that nature will be advantageous. So I do want to put our spy master to looking for secrets, which he is already. Perfect. My liege Basileus Adrianos is a complicated man. I need to understand him as well as possible if I am to convince people to take my side at any upcoming arguments. I will soon uncover the truth of him. I will take my time with this. Study personality, scheme success chance. I do like that, but we could try to take the chance here and get it without losing the progress on the scheme. I think, I'm willing to take that chance. People describe Basileus Adrianus as both serene and brooding, which tells me more about their relationship to him than anything else. Also, a curious number of people mention how often he balls his hands into fists and talks about his friends. I'm sure this information will be useful. We would like a hook on the Emperor ourselves that would secure our position and potentially get us many benefits. Basileus Adrianus has discovered that I am attempting to gain leverage over him. I must... He found it out and it was 90% success chance and 80% secrecy. Ouch. We may not try to fabricate hooks on him for 5 more years, and he lost 40 opinion. Ow, we have made an enemy of the Emperor. Well, Emperor, I mean... This might not, it might not sit well if the Emperor is murdered immediately after this, but... Well, actually, you know what? He's in a civil war. If the Emperor gets murdered during a civil war, are they really going to look to this Jarl way up, in the north? I might have a bad reputation, but you'd think that it would be one of his enemies in the war, would you not? It might be enough just to throw enough of a deflection on us. We might do that. Let's see what this event is first. I am partaking in some fighting exercises with my warriors. While shirtless, I practice some moves with my weapons. Badia, who happens to be observing the whole affair, remarks, "Your muscles are very good, Jarl Rafir. They fit you well, the meat on your muscles. Yes, your meaty muscles look delicious." Alright. We're 57 years old, but apparently we still have the ladies lusting after us. Yes, such as it is when you are a Jarl. Anyways, let's murder the Emperor. I would like to look for people to join my scheme if there are any willing. There are not. Is there anybody who's even close to willing? 22 I saw in there. 25. We might have a chance. We might have a chance of murdering that. There's a lot of people in his court. Maybe if we get some money to do some bribes, we'll have a chance. But either way, we're already at 74. We might switch over to our Spymaster to support our scheme, just to gain that little bonus. It seems that not every servant at Basileus Adrianus' court is blindly loyal. Anastasia assures me that she has a way in, and that a few coins in the right pocket can go a long way. We could lose a bunch of our money, but... that could potentially gain us... Oh, no, I think that's too risky, and we don't have the money for it anyways. I'm going to switch our Spymaster to support our schemes. If he was not already doing that. 71% chance. If we get exposed for trying to murder the Emperor, that could be bad, but... Basileus Adrianus is overly fond of drink, which causes him to act irrationally at times. It would be quite simple for the Duke Antonios to indulge him and ensure that these habits are kept up. Okay, well... Ooh, yeah, alright, we might... we could... I think that we are going to spend the money here. It's going to put us in debt. We can handle a little bit of debt just to gain this 80% chance. I'm a lot more comfortable with an 80% chance of success. So let's hope for the best. The scheme's still got a little while, so we're gonna let time tick on by. Ah, well, I see. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure we already have a claim on Burrow. Maybe we don't, but I'm not going to have my spy master dealing with that for now. Let's go to religious relations. A Basileus the Scare, local mystic with dubious morals, and a fabricated omen. Perfect. Before the mystic leaves for Basileus Adrianus' court, there is but one question. Will my false omen be one of fortune or of doom? We could lull him into a false sense of security. I think that, yeah, let's do that. I mean, maybe he'll just die on his own. He is a drunkard and 60 years old. He might just die on his own. Oh, another battle in Constantinople itself. And the forces of the Emperor were crushed in that battle. Look at that. And they're starving. I don't think the Emperor has much chance, although the enemy army is starving as well. So we'll see if they do manage to survive here. They're trying to siege down, I believe this is what, Bithynia? So, but while that goes on, we're just gently plotting to murder the Emperor. As you can see, the Empress of Byzantium is imprisoned by the enemies, so that's unfortunate for her. Oh, we can ransom Aki? I mean, we could use the money. He was going to be in our prison forever, but we could honestly use the money. With the recent upset among the peasants of Constantinople, indeed upset because they're being besieged, one of my agents has presented a unique suggestion for taking care of Basileus Adrianus. With coin in the right pockets and agitators on every corner, we could stage an entire riot while the Basileus... this is giving me shades of some historical emperor's death. Well, I think... 71% chance. This is far too unpredictable. I mean, we could try it. Why not try it? Oh, he has survived. Basileus has survived the attacks of the peasant horde. My agitators successfully riled them up, but when the mob started rioting, Adrianus' soldiers cut them down. The survivors fled in terror as the Basileus made his way back to the castle. Many peasants were hanged, but thankfully so were my agitators, which means the riot cannot be traced back to me. He's gonna be watchful for 2 years, but we could potentially get another chance at it if at first you do not succeed. Take another shot at the Emperor. We've got time. Although he is gonna lose the war, and if the war is over, then we might have to abandon our scheme, because I think that it would be a little bit harder to play it off as not being related to the murderous Jarl of Moesia if the Emperor is not currently being besieged by his own nobles. The two-faced Basileus Adrianus is at war. He is currently camped in Apemia, and sources tell me that he will pick up more camp followers soon, a perfect opportunity to get some of my people in the camp. Unseen in the crowd, they will report to me. Yes. Gain a little progress on our scheme. And just continue on in that manner. We don't really have anything we can do here. I mean, we could potentially get a physician, but I want to save up my money. If we could get one well-placed co-conspirator in the Emperor's court, then I think we would have a pretty good shot. Wait, are they sieging down my lands? Oh, get out of here. We're not even helping the Emperor. We're just tangentially still loyal. At best. Oh, they siege me down. I'm not pleased with that. Oh no, the Liege lost the war with Duchess Viviana. That is unfortunate. Are we still going to try to murder him? I did say that we would... Oh, 75% chance. I did say we would end the scheme because there isn't really... there's no cover now. We are a known murderer, And we did offend the Emperor just prior to this, and he did know that somebody tried to murder him, so... And now that he's lost the war against Duchess Viviana and her cohort, there's no reason for him to think that they would be responsible for this. Why would they? They got everything they wanted. So we're going to abandon that scheme. I just think there's too much heat there. And I do not want to make an enemy of the Empire. He is already old, so he may just die of too much drinking. That's the hope anyways. So we're just going to speed up time here and kind of see how things play out. What other kind of schemes could we potentially get? I mean, we could go back to getting... we could expose a secret? I don't think we'll expose that one. Can we modify our vassal contract? Could we become a march? What if we give you more levies now? Our obligations have already been changed. I don't think we'll be able to change them again until the end of Jarl Refir's lifetime, which he is also old. Who knows how many years he has left. We could petition the liege. Do we really go and petition the liege? Like, what could we potentially do? Council appointment? I mean, we could. I wonder if he would grant it to us. You know what? I think there's, like I said, there's too much heat on us. We're a known murderer. There was the murder attempt on the Emperor during the war. The war was won. He has no other enemies. I don't think we want to spend our time in the court of the Emperor, even though that would be more power. We are something of a rural lord, even though we are in relatively close proximity to Constantinople. We are mostly a rural lord, so we'll just let the time roll on a little bit here. To put on an act, an overheard whisper and a sharp glance, or sharp glare I should say, are the final pieces that make the puzzle fall into place. My spy master Somatu is more well versed in the art of intrigue than he would have everyone believe. To know there is a man like that at court makes me rather nervous. However, I might learn a lot if I can get him to trust me. I'll convince him we are cut of the same cloth. We could potentially gain an intrigue perk. We are cut of the same cloth, really. It takes many days, but at long last I coincidentally stumble upon Somatu while he is alone. Lord Somatu, I've been meaning to... If you walked into a room to find your spouse yelling at a young page for dropping a plate, what would you do? Is he testing me? Maybe this is my opportunity to convince him that we have a lot in common. I would encourage conversation and solve problems. I am sure they could handle it better without me. Craven, paranoid, arbitrary. The page would be punished, of course. Obviously. He pauses, thoughtful, before continuing. In the middle of a march to battle, just as you are setting up a camp, an officer approaches you to ask what should be done with the spy that has been caught. Make an example of the spy. I'm sure the officer would know what to do. Obviously, the spy has some answers to give. In time. A little bit of torture, perhaps. What do you think of that, Somatu? Do you deign to torture? His eyebrows creep down and his gaze grows cold. You make a decision, say that all taxes in a county will be raised, and it comes to your attention that one of your vassal openly questions that decision. How do you react? Punishment is the only option. His face is lit up by a surprising warm smile. You seem to be a man of sound judgment, he shrugs before moving down the corridor on silent feet. Please join me, we have much to discuss. We gain 1 intrigue lifestyle perk and he becomes our mentor. Interesting, we have a mentor. So, another intrigue perk here, and we are obviously going to go for Schemer. What does this give us? Well, in hostile scheme power, 25%. That is massive. Oh, maybe we could kill... Well, we can't kill the Emperor for a few more years, that's for sure. But, you know, it is... Oh, we got another one as well. Seducer, do we really want to go? I mean, we'll have to take it just because we don't have any other options here, but we might switch our lifestyle here, honestly, because I don't think we're much of a seduction focused man. Maybe learning. What's our scholarship? No, money. Of course, wealth focus. Oh, there we go. We're probably too old to gain much from that, but perhaps we shall see. My ward Yadni and his little friend Justina have taken a copy of the scriptures from the study and brought it into the playroom. They spent hours trying to understand what was written on its pages, talking about Jesus and the many mysteries of the divine. Yadni seems to have developed a deep respect for the words of the Orthodox faith. Yeah, I think we might get him to become cynical. I don't think we care much for the faith. We are excommunicated, and not only that, as somebody pointed out, I do think that our character may be a witch. I mean, it says we're not, but we have the option to found a witch coven. I suspect that is because of the witches that are in our dynasty. I don't think our character is a witch. I feel like we would have the trait marker here, but this save file is extremely buggy, so this might just be showing up because our character has family members like that. But that does speak to the point that we do come from a heritage of Norse religious followers, but not only that, but Styrkar himself sought things that were more, even deeper into the supernatural, and thus that lineage and that tradition, I think, does kind of trickle down the family somewhat here. There probably are some witches in the family still, I imagine. Recently, I feel like I am not worthy of the Duchy of Moesia. A little bit of imposter syndrome. I know it well, Jarl Refir. Do other rulers doubt themselves as I doubt myself? I try to be a good, just Jarl. What? Avenging slights, yes, and meting out retribution, indeed. But others of my station always seem to deliver vengeance so much swifter. Damn this universe for raising one so poor as me to such heights. I think, let's see. I think I need to be alone to think of this. We're no longer as overwhelmed by stress. I think we might seclude ourselves. Indeed. Let us shut the door behind us, take one step into the quiet room. I breathe in deeply and out. I've given the servants the order not to let anyone disturb me. No matter what happens, as my shoulders relax, I know that this is exactly what I needed. Indeed. Let us seclude ourselves for the time being. Our son can rule in our stead, although he does not have a position on the council. He still is learning the tricks of the trade. In fact, we could potentially give him a county to rule over to do some learning in that sense. I mean, we could grant him some titles here. Grant him the county of Atos. I mean, he is going to inherit it at some point anyways, yes? Never. A peasant's lot is to serve their lord. Alright, well, why don't we have our son lead the army against these rebels. I would like to delete you. There we go. We'll put our son in charge. He's not the best commander, but he needs to, like I said, he needs to learn to rule. And even though he's not a martially focused person himself, he is, I mean, he has some level of competency at it, so he's certainly not bad. The Orthodox world was shocked to learn that my bishop is keeping a list of all who have ever wronged him. Condemn him for his transgressions? I mean, he doesn't like us already anyways, so yeah, sure. Let's make a rival of our bishop. Why not? That's not gonna cause us any problems, is it? Alright, my son, show me what a man you have become here. See how well you can defeat this rebel peasant army. Look at him with that haughty expression there. He is certainly doing an excellent job crushing the peasant army here. And I suspect they shall have no chance against us. That would be the war done. Really, no details here to... Well, actually, Count Vese died of his wounds. I guess he took a wound in the battle and unfortunately suffered from some sort of infection. Oh dear, Count Vese, what a sad loss. The locals have been pacified. And what do we do with prisoners? Well, we teach them the error of their ways, do we not? Oh, the sweet kiss of the whip. It may look innocent, but it can separate flesh from bones just as well as any knife. A truth a ratty Slav is soon to experience. He will be sleeping on his stomach for quite some time. Indeed he will. Current situation. We can change Count Yadney's contract. Well, I think we could probably use a little bit of taxes from you, don't you think? Oh, and we have a hook on him, do we? We do. A little more levies on a little more taxes, I believe, would be recommended in this case. It would be an act of tyranny, though. Okay, so we can do one without gaining tyranny. I think that having taxes would be better. There we go. So we've modified Yadney's contract. Excellent. It is potential. We could probably inherit these lands, in fact. Let's see. No, we're not anywhere near the line of succession. Nothing to concern ourselves with there. We do have some money. Money is building up. That is good. That is exactly what we want. Could lash out, but I don't think we have the need for that just yet. Do we need to put our son on the council somewhere? Perhaps as the steward? Yeah, I don't know why we have the mayor on there. Let's get our son on there. He is much better at that job. And let's get some development increased here. Oh, and I've totally forgot it. Somebody mentioned this in another episode that we gotta increase the county control in Constanza. So that is what we are going to do there. The scheme at court, my spymaster has come to me with grave news. While we do not yet know, someone is plotting to kill him. Oh dear. They don't know who they are dealing with, my lord. They will think that they can kill me. I will show them. Oh yes, I will. We must stop the villain behind this. Who is trying to kill them? Who knows? But they don't have a very good chance. What kind of many enemies have you made? That's a good question. So the Emperor, despite now being somewhat beholden to a large swath of his own nobles, does retain his position. Now, what is going on over here in Khazaria? The war against the tyranny she's got, and okay, so she won a conquest, but she does have a war against her own tyranny here, and it doesn't look like she's got a very good shot of winning that. Well, that is just good for us. Following the death sentence of a lowly thief, I asked my worthy Count Yadney what he thought. The punishment did indeed not fit the crime. Very well, we can allow you to become just. I am just finishing up the day's business in my council chambers when my wife Duchess Tata saunters in with her sister Latsui eagerly at her heels. I put down the ledger I was just reading, knowing no good can come from this unexpected visit. Tata hesitantly remarks upon my appearance. My husband, you are mighty and powerful Jarl, but some do not yet give you the respect you deserve. You need something to demonstrate your authority. My sister could smith a fine set of regalia that would reflect your status. Sponsor her and see how her creation will improve your mood. Well, you know what? We have money. Alright, we could let's try it. Let's try to get ourselves some regalia here. It would be nice to get ourselves a few artifacts that we could use. Our daughter needs a guardian. All right, well, perhaps our wife can do that. The bonfire's sparks drift lazily up into the night sky with the smoke, but I can't enjoy the scene as I normally would. My rival Ianku stands triumphantly in front of the fire, challenging me to approach. In his hand, my very own artifact, the VIET brooch, stolen from me by that snake. Not one step closer, Refir, he calls over. Your precious bauble burns if you move a muscle. Ianku, I shout. Return that to me which is mine, and we will have no further quarrel. Ianku simply grins in response and moves my possession over the fire. Burn it then, you bampet. Stealing? Are you afraid to face me? I will not have this. This old man versus this old man going up against each other. I mean, he's got a few years and is obviously way more skilled. But I don't think we're just gonna let him throw it into the fire. Let's fight him. A blow from my sword and a kick to the gut. With a powerful cleave from my sword, I send Ianku reeling backwards, then step into the blow and kick him straight in the chest. He shifts into a defensive stance, his mace forming a near impenetrable wall, a perfect parries between me and him. He is way more skilled than us in personal combat. My form is decent with some lapses, and his is formidable. Alright, let's... fighting someone so skilled means I've got nothing to lose. Let's take the risk. Whirling my sword wildly, I rush straight at him. If I'm to die, I'll make it a hard fight, and Ianku is driven back by my desperate enthusiasm. He is famed for his abilities with a mace, and he reminds me of that with a perfect flowing chain of rapid thumps, punctuated by the occasional terrifying, crushing thwack. My form is good, with only small errors, and his is incredible. Oh, we will need to, I think, show him how we have to sword. My sword flows around him like water, each strike chaining fluidly into the next, a series of perfectly timed strikes. Unexpectedly, he managed to swing a vicious kick for my shin, momentarily hobbling me. My form is good, but his is incredible. An opening. Try my steel, you bastard. Oh yeah, let's try to use some of our intrigue here. And we won the fight. What? This guy has 24. He has more than double our prowess, and yet I think that we find ourselves some success here. With unerring accuracy, I hurl myself sword first at a blind spot in my opponent's guard. Ianku, presumably seeing his life flash before his eyes as my weapon dives towards his heart, rushes into parry. I allow myself a crooked smile, hooking my thumb into his awkwardly, and with a hefty flick, turn a kill shot into a disarming one. Ianku's mace sails off and away through the air. The bout won, I make a rather showy point of laying my weapon's point against my foe's heart. The yield is almost as quick as my initial sword blow. Take our brooch back. Ianku struggles to his feet, battered and bruised after our duel. His eyes burn brightly as the bonfire he stands beside, and he sees me tuck the brooch under my arm. As our companions wander back from their previous station some way, the conversation slowly trails off as they find the pair of us facing off, one victorious, one defeated. I look at my brooch, then at the man who had risked life and limb to burn it. Let this be a lesson to you. Impressive. An impressive win by our ruler here. And as we find ourselves on the heel of that victory, we will end the episode here. We'll see what this event is. Doesn't look too important, but we shall do that in the next episode. Until the next time, I will see you then.